Hello. In this video, we'll showcase how we are combining traditional AI with generative AI to deliver a much more powerful AI. In this demo itself, we are combining um, Google Search Console data along with Google Analytics data and, and, and some external data. This data is then fed into traditional AI, um, which amplifies the signals and minimizes the noise. It then is presented at the presentation layer as actionable insights. The information is fed into LLMs to convert it into text and into the visualization layer to display relevant tables and graphs. And then it can be fed to humans or other applications or into other components of semantic insights to deliver personalized messages and content. So if you look at Google Search Console data, you'll find that essentially, one of the information pieces is what are the queries coming in, and you see the top queries, and you get clicks, impressions, CTR, and position. If you are in Google Search Console, you can sort by clicks and impressions, but CTR and position will not be provided to you. But when you download it, you also get CTR and position. And you can also go to uh, dates. So that gives you the date information. However, in Google Search Console, there's a chart that shows you how clicks and impressions have trended over time. So you can see that impressions have increased, clicks, pretty much remain the same. So this itself is not really actionable insights. You can't really do anything with it. So what happens when you feed that Google Search Console data uh, into semantic insights? What you get as an end product is essentially an executive summary to start, and it says, brand search is very strong, like Dunwoody Harley Davidson is very strong, and the click-through rate is 30 to 38%. But things like dealer, service, used motorcycles, specific models, they are weak, um, and they're near zero. So that's the improvement that you can make. It identifies what's performing well, so branded and location-specific search, and early signals for rentals are performing well. And in terms of weak performers, like generic dealer, service and parts, used motorcycle shopping, model category terms, these things are not performing very well. And then opportunities. Uh, it identifies opportunities. It says, these are the ones that you can go after. It gives you an action plan. It gives you rationale, and gives you some general recommendations. So this is actionable information. You know what it's doing well, what can be improved, how to improve it, etc. It also, let's say, you want to kind of do a deeper dive. So it identifies the most engaged queries. This you can get right out of Google Search Console. But then it also sorts by highest engagement rate. But if you don't want to see the insufficient data, which is essentially data where there's not enough information to be highly confident whether it's a high engagement rate. So let's say if we have, if you want to see data that has moderate levels of confidence, then you click on moderate, and it gives you the moderate ones. And then queries sorted by the lowest engagement rate, it tells you which ones are performing the worst. So dealer doesn't seem to do very well. Motorcycles, uh, those terms are not doing very well. We then also present things like, what keywords are most engaged, what keywords have the highest engagement rate, and what keywords have the lowest engagement rate. So the lowest engagement rates where there's the biggest opportunity to improve. Um, so you can see that motorcycle and motorcycles, CVO, uh, touring bike, women, those are terms that are not doing very well. So, so that gives you some ideas on how to do advertising and SEO optimization, um, as well as social media outreach, etc. And and then what we do is, let's say you want to dive in even further, we plot things by in a chart where everything together is kind of, here all the women's names are there. You can also select and deselect so that you only see the best uh, performing ones. Um, and another chart is the lowest query. So here, the women's stuff is here, and you can see cheap motorcycles and insurance. And you might, like, you go here, something CVO, I'm not sure exactly what it is. But so now let's say you want to focus on women's related areas and understand what type of queries are related to women. What you can do is basically uh, you can do a lasso select of this these dots. And once you do that, essentially it identifies, what are the weakest opportunities of women motorcycle, female motorcycle, women riders. These things are getting quite a bit of impressions, but no clicks. So that might be an opportunity for growing this customer, uh, uh, improving marketing and growing the customer base. And also, what we do is we combine Google Analytics data um, and external data to provide insights into different areas, and then combine them to give a more holistic impression. And the way this process works is essentially, I've already pre-selected Dunwoody, Harley Davidson. So let's say I want to do the keywords analysis. So we go through a discovery phase. And the first phase, the discovery phase, is where you start the analysis. And this may take like 1 or 2 minutes. Um, and this can be manually executed, or it can be automated, like to run every week, every month or so, or triggered on an ad hoc basis or an event-driven basis. So it's running, and so you're seeing the same tables and the charts. That, I mean, this is more recent data. Uh, and that was kind of fed into. We don't feed the whole all the data. We filter the best information, and there's some additional data that is fed into that as well. And and then when you want it to generate recommendations, you can click the recommendation button, or click the call the API, and it automatically generates the recommendation. And that's how you get it. But when we present it, we go executive summary and best recommendations by LLM, but we give the user the opportunity to kind of drill down and identify things that the AI might have missed. So essentially, by doing this, we save a lot of time and money. It's faster results, it's higher quality results, and it uses up far fewer tokens. And also, if you look at what it does from a functional perspective, we are combining demographic, psychographic information along with behavioral information. A lot of customer data platforms focus more on behavioral information. We have a rich of, one of our key capabilities is adding the psychographic and demographic dimensions. And we can handle quantitative as well as language textual data, as the demo showed. And it does all four types of analytics, and it gives you actionable insights. And then we can use it to, uh, create ad content or other types of content, configure ads, personalization, proactive services. And all this can be done, and there's no programming required, no data scientist skills are required. Um, so that's it. So would love to talk to you. Connect with me, and let's take it from there. Thank you.